Do you struggle with the everything gene like me? You know, that gene where you think you honestly can do everything? The night before last, I was laying in my bed. I could not sleep, so I picked my phone and I started scrolling the TikTok. I came across a few videos about making Easter baskets with dish drying mats. I did go out and buy some because in the videos that I watched, it convinced me that I can actually make these baskets. The only problem here, my friends, is I actually haven't used my sewing machine in 2 or 3 years. And honestly, the last time I did use it, I tried to make my son some really comfy pajama pants and made them 17 sizes too small. But you know what the great part is my everything gene has told me, Ashley Falco, you can do it. So today, I'm going to attempt to make an Easter basket out of drying dish mats with my dusty, old sewing machine, and hopefully this video ends up in a new playlist of sewing tutorials and not dumped into the Ashley Falco crafting fail videos. The videos that I've watched over on the TikTok has made it very simple. You're really only gonna need one thing, and that's going to be these dish drying mats. They kind of have a little bit of foam in them. I got mine at Hobby Lobby, but also the videos that I was watching said that you can go to Home Goods. They have like scalloped edges ones there. I wasn't really a fan of the scalloped edges one, and plus I thought that that was going to be a little bit harder to work with than some straight lines. Listen, I think this is going to be a total of like 4 straight lines by the time we're done. Now, in a lot of the videos that I was watching, they actually included some handles with these things, and they never really told you how to make the handles. So I kind of guessed, got a 1/4 of a yard of 2 different types of fabrics, and I'm gonna hopefully make some handles. We shall see. The other thing that I've seen a lot of people using are going to be these gator clips or something like that. Instead of using pins to pin down all of your fabrics, they use these really cool gator clips. I got a bag of all pink ones because I do love the color pink. We're gonna need some fabric scissors, or I actually don't have any fabric scissors. I have these brand new left-handed scissors. Hopefully they cut fabric. I am unsure. You're obviously gonna need some thread and then a bobbin, preferably filled with some thread. And then you're gonna need a ruler or one of these things. I conveniently already had this from years ago, but you are gonna need a ruler to cut out some corners. Really? That's all the videos told me that I needed. Let's get started and see whether or not I'm gonna actually be able to do what TikTok has told me that I can. Let's go. Okay, so we are gonna be using this sewing machine today. It is a really old Brother sewing machine. I'm not entirely sure if they sell this model anymore. This was purchased like back in 2012, 2013, so it's really old and also dusty, all right? Now, from front and back, this thing is old and dusty. I don't think I've also ever replaced the needle in this thing, so just so you're aware. I'm not entirely sure if we are gonna get a good thing out of this. So I have it plugged in, and also I'd love to note that my particular sewing machine doesn't require the pressing foot. You can do all of the functions here instead of requiring the pressing foot. So that's how I'm gonna do all the functions up here. We're just gonna turn that on. Now I have to tell you that I really do want to start bringing some sewing crafts into my channel. And the reason for that is sewing crafts are super huge. I have actually made a quilt one time, just once, only one. It was a lot of fun, but then I retired this sucker. Like, my husband bought me this sewing machine to make a quilt for my grandma, and then I never made another one because it took me forever. However, everyone is doing sewing crafts, and I like all the finished things that they create. I want to make them. So I felt like this was a very good beginner-friendly craft. I'm not entirely sure. We shall figure out. So I already have a bobbin in here, and it does have a fairly decent amount of thread in it. This right here, if you've never sewed before, having your bobbin filled would be preferred. I'm gonna just say YOLO. I feel like this is enough, and I'm gonna throw this back into my machine. Okay, then I have a little bit of sewing thread. So I'm just gonna put that in here and wrap this around. We ain't looking for me for like actually how to really do sewing just yet. I mean, I know the basics. I took home ec in high school. Shout out to Mrs. Foster in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. If that is you watching this, hello. You taught me how to make mittens back in my sophomore year of high school. And I do remember that those mittens, one of them had a hole in the thumb. But you know what? I rocked those red mittens that I made in your home ec class. Okay, we're going to flip all this up. Now I have string on the bottom, string on the top. We are ready to go, I feel. Alrighty, we are gonna start with one of these. What I do know about sewing is that oftentimes you are pretty much working inside out all the time. Whatever you want your right sides to be, like this thing that's facing, that has to be on the inside. Did that make sense? Probably not. I am going to cut this tag off. So I want this fabric to be the fabric that is going to be on the outside of the mat. So I'm going to fold it in, or I'm sorry, let me repeat that. I want this fabric to be the outside of my Easter basket. So I need to fold it inside, and I need to sew down this edge and also this edge, okay? I am going to use my cute little pink clips that I purchased from the Hoblob, all right? You can also get these on the Zon. I didn't want to actually wait for anything to be delivered because I needed to get to this project today. I did not want to wait. So I'm going to clip down the edges. I like that people are using these versus, this also helps like speed up the process because the reason why I didn't really care for sewing way back when is you would have to pin everything with needles, and that takes so much time. It takes forever. If you've been on my, if you've been a watcher of me for many years, you do know I always say I don't have patience. I truly don't. When things take a long time, I'm like, forget it. I don't want to do it. So I felt like doing these pins. I'm like, oh, this is going to be quick and easy. It would have taken me forever to pin this with needles. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna go on this side right here, down here, and also down here. You only wanna do the two long sides, okay? So we're gonna take this over to the sewing machine, and I'm just gonna unclip one of them, and I'm gonna bring it into here. I am going to just use this like yellow as like my start, as the guide to making a straight line, okay? So I'm gonna go real close to that. Something called seam allowance, I have no idea. Again, if you are following me for a sewing tutorial, this is probably not the right channel to be at. We are really just seeing if I actually can make this project look good. Okay, so I am going to start on the like medium, like not medium. I'm gonna just like, this is the slowest. This is really fast. I am not going to go really fast. I don't want to be the speed racer here. I haven't used my sewing machine in maybe 3 years, if 2. I'm fairly certain it's 3. Okay, so I'm gonna go not the slowest because that is turtle speed. I'm gonna go a little bit further up, and I'm gonna press the start button and let my machine pull my material. It is so slow, painfully so. So I'm gonna turn this up. We ain't moving. We ain't moving nowhere. Okay, so hold on. Let me just open this up, pull this through. I think I need to push this through a little bit. I mean, we got some stitches, but we weren't moving. So let me, what they don't tell you is this may be hard. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm getting hot. I'm sweating. I'm sweating, my friends. All right, we are going to try this again. Start again, and we're gonna go backwards because we need to do like a back stitch. Okay, we're there. Now we're gonna go forward. Okay, I have to unclip and go forward again. Oh, I got some computer things here, so I need to move all those out of the way because it's getting a little hairy here. I think I'm doing really good. I don't know if I'm doing good or not, but let's go forward again. Okay. Unpin one. Okay. Last unpin. And then I want to go back, do a back stitch, and then go forward all the way through. Yay! Do we have a good seam? All right, I don't know. Oh, look. Yay, look at that. Now, I was having troubles getting this to be fed through. So then what I did was I took my pressing foot off. All right. And then I shoved my material in there. Got that kind of in place. Found my thread because that has to go through my pressing foot. Then I like jammed my pressing foot. I'm sure everyone that actually sews here is probably cringing at whatever it is that I'm doing. But you know what? I got a line. My two pieces of material are stuck together. So I must have done something right. All right, making sure that these two pieces of material are lined up perfectly. Then we got the pressing foot down. All right, we are gonna go forward a little bit and then backwards. Okay, then we're gonna go forward again. Oh my gosh, how cool. All right, go forward again. You have to keep, if you had a pressing foot on, you would just like lift your foot up, but I don't have that. Is it called pressing foot? I don't know. It's the pedal, the pedal to make your thing go. I don't have that plugged in. So I have to use the buttons. All right, so then we have a pouch. We could stop here if we wanted to make this like a laptop pouch if we wanted to. I feel like this is a really, really good pouch. Okay. Now we have to cut the corners. I think that's called a French seam. No, I don't know. We have to cut some corners. Okay, so I decided to have a seat because kind of standing while sewing, I enjoy it, but like I was starting to get a little tired. My back was starting to ache. So sat down and now it's time to cut the corners. I have my, I think this is called a magic square. I'm not entirely sure, but have a Sharpie. I don't have a fabric marker, so I'm just gonna do a Sharpie. Then what I'm gonna do is draw some corners that I have to cut out. Now the tutorial that I was watching said to do like a 2x2, so that is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take my square and I'm gonna do 2 inches over 2 inches, so we're gonna do a 2-inch square, and I'm just going to make a line. So we are gonna cut this portion out, okay? We're gonna do the same with this side. We're gonna go 2 inches by 2 inches. All right. Did I do 2 inches by 2 inches just to make sure? Nope, I didn't. So, because that looked more like a rectangle. So I'm gonna make sure I do a 2 inch by 2 inch. We wanna make sure that they're even on both sides. That I do know. Okay, taking some scissors, and we are gonna cut out our corners, and then making sure that we have the same side. Oh man, I marked my fingers. That's fine. Okay, making sure we have the same size, we are gonna cut out this corner. All right, so you should be left with 2 corners. I say you should be left with as if you're actually trying to learn this tutorial from me. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to bring back our sewing machine, and we have to, oh wait, actually we're not bringing back our sewing machine. I'm trying to remember as I go what this video looked like. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to fold this open, and we are going to push these like this. So we have, it's like this, we have to open it, and then we have to pinch these together. So do you see that little sandwich? Now what we're going to do is we are going to sew along this edge right here, okay? This is probably why you didn't want so much of a large seam allowance like I have, because now I have to go through a huge hump. But instead of sewing it like this, I'm gonna bring my seams down, kind of flatten them out a little bit. I'll put my clip just like that. This is what you want it to look like, okay? I'm only gonna do one for right now. Then we're going to unclip all of this, do it on the other corner. So bringing back my sewing machine, it does look like I probably need to replace or like add in more thread to my bobbin. I'm gonna try and get this one corner done before I have to rethread my bobbin. I'm gonna start going forward. I'm gonna go back. We're gonna do a back stitch. And then we're gonna go forward again. Oop. Okay, we wanna make sure that we put the seams down, unclip, and now we're gonna just go over the seam. All right, and then we're just gonna keep going to the other side, and then we're gonna go forward, backward on the other side. That I do know. And just to verify that we do not have a hole in our corner, I'm just gonna put my finger in the corner and no hole. Can't see my finger. Woohoo! Okay, we are done with that side. Now we're gonna have to do the other, and I have to replace the thread in my bobbin, unfortunately. Always look, if you are a beginner at sewing, okay, you wanna make sure that your bobbin is always filled. If it's not filled, you got problems. Your stuff won't be sewn together appropriately. Ask me how I know. There's been plenty of times where I have not had my bobbin filled, thought I sewed two things together, and actually I never did. So let's fill my bobbin. Okay, so over here, we are gonna put my bobbin in here. We have to unthread, following the directions on the top. It says, which I do like the fact that it does give me what to do on the top. Wrap this around a few times and bring this over, trim, and go. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna press play and it will start winding my bobbin. That's the funnest part, is winding this bobbin up. You just have to remember to do it so you don't run out. All right, we're done. So we'll just we'll stop it and put this back into the bottom. I do have an automatic stitcher in mine, but like a needle threader, but like I actually don't have good use for that. It doesn't, mine I can never seem to get work right. So I don't know how long that took me to rethread my bobbin, but it really didn't take me that long. So we are going to pin our corners again. All right, we're gonna put it in, go forward a little bit, then go backwards, go forward again. We want to go and flatten out the seam right here. So make this nice and flat. Go forward and back when you get to the end. All right, we'll open this up. Test the corners to make sure everything is, we don't see any of my fingers. Whew, we're doing a good job. All right, now I'm gonna just trim out all of my loose threads. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we are gonna turn this inside out, or right side in. Okay, in the tutorials that I have seen, everyone does this thing where they push out all the corners and then they take and smush these ones together, and then they do another stitch right over the top of that. So I don't think you necessarily need your gator clips for that. So I'm not going to. I'm gonna bring all of my string in through there. And then I am going to put my seam just like this. We're gonna smush it down. All right, then we are going to go forward. You know, for this one, I don't think I am going to go forward and back. I'm just gonna go forward and go all the way through. Okay, once I'm done, trim off the extra strings. This is what your corner is going to look like. So it's going to look something like that versus like this. This kind of has like a hidden corner or end, and this one has a finished end. I think it looks good. Okay. We're going to do the same with this. Kind of give it the same type of seam allowance as the last side. Awesome. Listen, if there's one thing that I can teach anyone is that you can honestly do anything. We could actually stop here, to be honest with you. We already got something that looks amazing. Unfortunately, the pattern of my fabric is in, I wish it was going up and down, but you know what? It is what it is, right, my friends? But like, we already have something that I can hold. It's a vessel of some sort. I think we're already winning. So in the videos, they turned the top inside out. I really wish I did not have this much of a seam allowance because I don't think this is very cute. But this is how your finished basket's going to look, something like this. I do like that. I just don't like this big, huge thing. I wish I wouldn't have done such a big thing, but that's okay. Okay, now it's time to create the handle for this. Every single video that I have watched, no one tells you how to make the handle. They tell you how to make this, and then they're like, randomly, here's a handle. So what I have done is I have picked up some coordinating fabric to this. I also have like this like corally peach one for this one. So we have to make the handle. I don't even know if this is correct fabric for this, but let's make the handle first, okay? What you got to do for the handle is I am going to fold this in half. You probably need an iron or heat press of some sort. I am not about ready to bust out my mini heat press for this project. I don't feel like it needs to, but most people, when they do fabric crafts, they have like an iron sitting right next to them so they can iron nicely. I am not going to do that. Okay, I am just going to make a crease down the middle, a fold mark, if you will. I'm going to open it back up. This like fold mark that's right here, I'm going to fold my unpretty edges into that. Do the same with the other side. Okay, then I'm going to fold these on top of each other. And this is again where you would probably want to get your iron out and make these nice and flat and beautiful. I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm just going to pin my edges together. Awesome. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my sewing machine and I am going to sew a stitch down the open end. I'm also going to do it on the other side, but I'm going to focus in on the open end first. And I think I'm going to do a quarter of an inch. I don't know. I am going to go forward, backward, then forward again. So we're going to press play and then we're going to go back and then we're going to press play again. Unclip. And there is like these guideline ruler things on a sewing machine, or at least on mine. There's a quarter. I'm just going to make sure that my fabric that's going in here is always lined up with that quarter. Awesome. Okay. We got one side down. We're going to repeat the same thing that we just did on the other side to make it nice and finished on the other side. Awesome. And now here is my handle. My handle. It just looks like a strap of fabric at this point, but you know what? It's doing something. It's doing something. It's okay. I think it's okay that the edges aren't complete here because I'm going to do this. Watch. This is what I've seen other people do, is they've taken these straps and they've put them in here and then wrap them around like that. Okay. And then they've just sewn here and here. So we're going to sew our flap down. I really wish that wasn't there. To hide that weird allowance, what if we did it like this? I like that. I like that idea. Okay. So we have this side, and then we have this right here, okay? We are in the home stretch, I feel like. We are in the home stretch. If I mess up now, that's it. All right. Open this up. This right here will come off. I'm just going to line my fabric up to the end of the presser foot. Okay. All right. Here we go. Look at how cute this is. Okay, it is a lot harder to get through the humps and make it a straight line, but you really can't tell that they kind of get a little wonky. If you can, I don't want to hear it because I'm actually really impressed with this, okay? I want to do one more stitch because this still seems a little unfinished to me. I feel like it's going to be easier now because I have everything pretty much sewn together. Okay, so I don't think that the smartest and wisest idea that I had is to add more fabric to such a thick seam because that was really hard. My sewing machine did not want to go over all these layers of fabric, but I do have a finished basket. Perfect? No, not at all. But are my kids going to be impressed that I made this? Yes. Yes, they are. And that is a win in my book. What do you think? Do you like this? My first sewing project in 2, maybe 3 years. And I got a basket. Ta-da! Okay, so I learned from my mistakes the first time and I put the strap on this way. Instead of going over the seams, I went this way. And this was a lot smoother. Now the top stitch around there, I did have to skip over here and here because my sewing machine was not going to accommodate for that. Now the question here is do I finish it like this? Or do I do the same type of seam that's on here on the corners and do it on the side? I think I'm just going to stop because why make things harder than it needs to be? What do you think of my finished second basket? I mean, are we impressed or what? I feel like I am. I know they zoom perfect, but like, come on now. So if anyone's like, oh my gosh, Ashley, you could have done this, just bought the baskets and been done with it. So these mats, just to show you, these mats were $4 and all of my fabric was $1.75. So each one of these things was only like a $5 basket. $5. Could you find a basket for $5 that looks this cute? I don't know. You tell me. I am impressed with my Easter baskets though. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. TikTok told me that I could do it and I can. Holy cow. If there is one thing that you can learn from me through all of my videos that I create here on my channel, it's that I sure hope that I can convince you that you also can do anything. If you feel empowered to do something and learn something, learn it. Okay, I don't know about all the buttons on this sewing machine, haven't used it in years, but holy cow, do I not have 2 really cool Easter baskets for my kids. They're gonna love these. I bet they're gonna keep them forever because mom made them. All right, y'all, I sure hope that I inspired you to create, and I'll see you next time.